Hello everybody, I'm Sonic. Welcome back to Let's Replay Sonic the Hedgehog. That's gonna be really confusing for me. Or should I say, welcome back to Sonic's childhood stories with Sonic in the background. Where was I? I forgot. I think that's really all I gotta say. Oh yeah, then I started watching Sonic X, and I got Sonic Adventure. I know, despite everyone else on the Earth's opinion, Sonic X to this day is still my favorite Sonic show that they've made. Somehow, I don't know, everybody says it's their least favorite, and I never quite understood that. I mean, I hate Chris just as much as anybody else, but that's about it. And then I got Sonic Adventure and everything, and that was amazing, because 3D Sonic... I don't remember my first reaction to that game, unfortunately. I wish I did. I wish I remembered my first reaction to seeing, like, the Knights Pinball and all the Knights into Dream stuff, because I must have been like, what is that? Probably wouldn't. I was just like, hot colors, I'm a kid. But, because that's exactly what I talked like when I was a kid, yeah. For sure. I should probably talk more about the game other than my childhood with it. Or both. Not really much to talk about more with my childhood. I will say that, just like most people, this is my least favorite out of the Sonic Classic series. The first three, you know? I don't know what it is, something about it. Oh, that's weird, I can't go back. Alright, oh, is that it? Wow. Oh, what was it? What was I talking about? Oh, yes, my least favorite, because, they improved so much on the 2 and 3 from this game. And 2 is still my favorite, I think. I don't know why, but 2 just has always been my favorite. I don't think it's because it was my first game, but, you know, it could be, but something about it, just, I've always liked more than 3. I mean, 3 is probably better, but, you know, like, in technological terms, but I don't know. 2 just always seemed more fun to me. Something about it. I guess I could tell you guys how I got Sonic 3, or how I don't want to say stole it. I guess how I... No. I'll say borrowed. Because that's the only way. Because, when I was a kid, oh yeah, first of all, despite Sonic 3 and Sonic CD and Sonic Spinball and all them already being made, my dad told me that they probably wouldn't make any Sonic games after 2. And this was at, like, 2001, 2002, 2003, when obviously many more had been made. And he told me that there probably wouldn't be any after 2, which apparently he was completely guessing. So, like, I went to my grandma's house when I was a kid, and, she said, like, our neighbor has a SEGA Genesis with Sonic on. I was like, really? And then I went to visit the neighbor, and, the neighbor's name was Jesse, I think, and it was a guy, and it was, just a guy with a Genesis. That's all I remember. Don't even remember if he had a wife or not, but... yeah, he booted it up, and I'm ready to see Sonic, and then it's just Sonic 3, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Sonic 3! Like, this is amazing. I didn't know there was a third one. And then I remember that night, I just called my dad, I'm like, guess what? There is a Sonic 3! I was so happy. And then, yeah, I was like, I want to play as Sonic, because I always liked Sonic better than Tails back then, and, oh, I mean, I still do, but, but, so he's like, okay, and then he's playing as Tails, and then he starts flying around, which Tails can't fly by himself in Sonic 2. I'm like, Tails can fly? I want to be Tails! Because I always see Tails flying in when he dies in Sonic 2. And I'm like, that'd be cool, I wish I could do that. And then Sonic 3 is actually flying, I'm like, that is amazing! So then I was Tails, and I loved it. And I thought it was amazing. So he let me borrow the game. And so I took the game cartridge with me back home. And our house is, we don't live, me and my grandparents don't live in the same area or anything. About 300 miles away. I took it back home, and I played it, and it was incredible, and I loved every minute of it. And, how old was I back then? 5, probably, 6. I gave it back probably when I was 11 or 12. Because every single time I went back, I either didn't want to give it back, or I just forgot, because by that time I probably had Sonic Mega Collection, which I'm playing on right now, which had all the classic games on it. And so I would just forget to bring it. I'm like, oh. But by then, other consoles were obviously out. So, I mean, he probably didn't even care, but I felt bad every single time, like, I basically stole Sonic 3 from this guy. Because I just took it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll give it back, yeah, sure. Yeah. And then I just kept it for like a decade. And I eventually did give it back, of course, but look how easy that boss was. But yeah, that's the story of how I basically stole Sonic 3 for a decade. Wow. I shouldn't say stole, because I didn't really steal it, but I almost stole Luigi's Mansion from the store once. That scared me. Because like, I was looking at games in the mall. It's a mall, but I was looking at games in the mall and at the GameStop in the mall. I believe it was GameStop anyway. And I saw Luigi's Mansion, and I was like, oh, that looks awesome. Luigi and GameCube and Mansion, I don't know. But I was like, that looks awesome. And so I looked at the box, and I was looking at the box, and my mom was with me, and she said, like, maybe for your birthday or something like that. And so I was all excited because I was hopefully going to get Luigi's Mansion for my birthday. And so, yeah, we left the store, and then we walked for a bit, and then after all that, I realized, oh my gosh, I am still holding Luigi's Mansion in my hands. I just waltzed out of the store with Luigi's Mansion, didn't pay for it, the guy didn't even notice, the owner, and I just walked out with Luigi's Mansion. I could have taken it. I could have taken it. I'm too, like, good and conscious. I would have been guilty forever. Like, if I still had my copy of Luigi's Mansion that I stole, I would have just... I'd be insane today, pretty much. I can't do that without, like, being so guilty. And so, yeah, I was like, Mom, I still have Luigi's Mansion. And then, so we took it back to the store, and... Oh, but that scared me. Because I was like, I'm a thief. I was a very, like, morally correct child. Like, any little bad thing, no matter how tiny it was, I was just so guilty for. So, yeah. That's the story of how I shoplifted Luigi's Mansion. Almost, anyway. Oh boy. That was something. I'm surprised I remember that. I guess it traumatized me. It probably did. I like how this whole Let's Play, I'm already halfway done with the game, and I haven't talked about the game yet. I've talked about my childhood, not the actual game. I've never liked this zone. This has always been my least favorite zone in the whole game. Because of this stupid water. You know, for a game that boasts about its speed unlike any other, it goes pretty darn slow at a lot of times. Maybe that's something that I liked better about Sonic 2 and 3, is that they do go a lot faster than this one. With just the same amount of, like, platforming and whatnot, but just a lot faster. Hope you guys know what I mean. You probably do. I don't know anybody who actually likes Sonic 1 the best out of the 3 games. And I've... Ew! Ew! What is that? Ew, what? Ew! There's some black gunk on my controller. What is that? Ew, get it off. Okay. Sorry about that. There's some black goop on my control stick. Ugh. Got it off, though. So sorry about that little intermission. I've been looking back recently, pretty recently, at, old Sonic stuff, like, because you know how, recently SEGA hasn't been the most, oh wow, I was about to drown, hasn't been the most, I don't know what the word is, they haven't given the fans what they want, I guess, so to speak, what with, you know, the failure of Sonic Boom and whatnot. Because, you know, when the fans say, we want classic Sonic, and then they change the series as much as they possibly can, and then they think, this is gonna be a huge success. What? Nobody likes it? Nonsense! But, so I've been looking at the good old Sonic stuff, you know, of course, silently crying to myself, why isn't it still this great? And I'm not one of those people who just likes the Genesis era or anything. I love the Sonic Adventures, I love Sonic Heroes. I surprisingly love Shadow the Hedgehog. Love Sonic Riders, love Sonic Colors, Generations, Lost World. I love new stuff, too, but not as much, but yeah, I've been looking at old stuff recently. And I looked at, like, the Mega Collection that I'm playing on right now, it comes with some of the old Archie comic books. Ow. And I just read, like, this whole big thing at the beginning of it that I never read before, about how Sonic is, like, super successful and getting his own series. I'm like, why isn't he like this now? Why has he fallen so? But alas. Boy, these games had good music. They really did. Oh, the Genesis was so good. I don't know how SEGA was so great back then, and now they're just poopy. I mean, they still make good stuff. I'm pretty sure they made Alien Isolation. You might have to check me on that, but I mean, it says SEGA at the beginning, but I saw an interview with the developers, and it wasn't SEGA, so I think SEGA just, like, licensed it, maybe? I don't know. But it said presented by SEGA, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, that game was great. Alien Isolation was awesome. What are some other good SEGA games? Bayonetta, from what I can tell, is really good. What else? Sonic Lost World was obviously pretty good. Not bad, but not great. Especially the graphics were very lacking, in my opinion. Compared to Sonic Generations, which they made 2 years earlier, which had amazing graphics. And Lost World was kind of just eh. But yeah, they make great stuff except Sonic for some reason nowadays. I think they just mostly given up on it. I can tell they really tried with Generations though. I wish they would like put that much effort into all their Sonic games. And people liked Sonic Generations, and then they changed everything. Why would you change everything off something that people finally like after you've been going down the drain for like a decade? Ugh, I don't get Sega's mindset. If I was the leader of Sega, I would set them straight. Or I would try to. If I was like the president of Sega, I would make sure the fans have what they want. I would bring back good old Sonic type piece stuff. As much as I could anyway. While making it still new. I would definitely attempt to get all the Sonic Adventure heroes voice actors back, because that's something that people hate nowadays, are the really bad voice acting. Get new writers, because the writers don't know what they're doing. I would reboot old series, or I'd try to. If we could get enough funds for it, I would try to reboot things like Knights and Vector Man and Jet Set Radio and all that. They have so much potential and they just don't use it. Oh my gosh. Alright, enough of my ranting about Sega going down the drain. I gotta end it here, so thank you everybody so much for watching. We'll finish this game up in the next part. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Like, favorite, share the video with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye everybody.